Hey guys, my name is V and welcome back to my channel. So today we're reviewing both the finale and the reunion of Love is Blind season 8. Now guys, this season has been a roller coaster and this is the most performative and fakest cast of Love is Blind history. I got some thoughts, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's get started. Now guys, just a little disclaimer, I am just focusing on the couples that actually made it down the aisle and I'll be making a separate video for the rest. So first up, let's talk about the shining stars of this season, Taylor and Daniel. I am super happy for these two and sending huge congratulations their way. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for these two. They were just such a joy to watch from start to finish. And honestly, I fell in love with Daniel's family and just the way both families came together to build such a supportive and strong support system for them. I absolutely loved it. And guys, let's just talk about their wedding. It was absolutely stunning. And I have to admit, I was sobbing. I was crying, like ugly crying when Daniel's sister was singing to both of them as they were actually walking down the aisle. That was so beautiful. And I absolutely just was amazed. And I have a little bit of an update on the couple. They did just announce that they just bought a house together and they're moving in. So I am super excited for them and I will definitely be watching this couple. So Daniel and Taylor, congrats to you guys and we will be watching. Now guys, let's move on over to Devin and Virginia. I have to be honest guys that I was confused as hell. I just don't know what happened between these two. And honestly, I'm just going off of what was shown, what we saw, and what is out there. Because truly did not understand. It was hella confusing. And I was really expecting Devin to really speak up and say something at the reunion. But nada, nothing, like silencio. What happened? It was so confusing. And the fact that Virginia did not really say, like really word it out and say what was going on. I thought that it was a classy way of handling things, but at the same time, I need more details. Now, the thing that was confusing to me is that throughout the show, Virginia has only ever spoken positively and lovingly about Devin. I mean, we've seen her talk about how Devin is a nice guy. She's so lucky to have him. And she was actually crying at the dress fitting about how she's so lucky to have him. She's like so amazed that she could find someone like him. And I was like, girl, we know, the public can see that you guys are not a match, but I'm confused. What do you see in him that we don't see? Because from where we stand, we definitely see that there might be a physical attraction, but you guys don't even talk. Like you are Miss Quiety Quiet. Like you don't say anything. So it was so confusing to me that there was so much hostility after the fact. And because the only on-screen tension that we actually saw from these two were when they were lying in bed and talking about their political views. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Virginia decided that, you know what, I think that we should be talking about some more serious topics before we actually walk down the aisle. So she brings up the topic about what are your views on abortion and what is happening out there in the world. So he starts like, I don't know, he didn't want to have this conversation on camera. It was very visible and he wanted to just get out of it. He was saying pretty much nothing at all. He was like, oh, I believe that it should be both the men and the women that should have a say in this and whatever. He was trying to be politically correct. And then Virginia's friend who was at the wedding actually exposed Devin and called him out for this. She called him a dusty mega and said that Virginia was actually the one who was paying for everything. Like, where was this on the show? So I'm wondering, was Virginia a victim of editing or was she just an Oscar-worthy actress? Like, was this a performance from Virginia? Was she being fake about this whole thing and just like dragging it along so that she can, expose him and say no at the altar? Or was this bad editing because there was just so much missing and it felt like we didn't really get a full story? I would like to believe that she was a victim of editing and that there was more to the story. However, girl, Virginia, I love you, girl. I think you're gorgeous, intelligent, you have it all. But that little voice, that little performance you were putting on, that was fake. Because it was such a shock to me when you were sitting in the reunion and you had your normal voice and you out here saying that you were protecting Devin. Protecting him from what? Obviously, the man can protect himself. The fact that he did not want to have or refuse to have these conversations on camera means that he can protect himself. He wanted to save face. He either knew that his views would pretty much cause a backlash, or he was simply just ashamed of them. Now, guys, from my previous video, I did mention that it was not a surprise to me that Devin was a conservative and had conservative views because of the fact that he comes from an interracial background where it seems like he has a closer relationship to his mom. And Minnesota, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Minnesota a red state? So it is not weird to me that Devin is conservative. The only thing that I think that is super weird in this whole thing is that Devin was out here knowing that he has such different views from Virginia, and he saw himself that this ain't it. We're not clicking. There's no conversations to be had. And when you're getting married, obviously you should be having these conversations. So I'm thinking that Devin is out here playing this girl. He knew what he was doing, either played along for the fame, or he was out here playing this girl hoping that he would be wifed and he could, live on her goods and live off of this girl. Because I cannot explain it. Because this man was out here knowing that all of this was happening and still playing along. There were subtle little signs where you could see that he was like looking at her weird, and I couldn't pinpoint it because, like I said, there was such a huge gap and lots of missing holes in the story. So I was just like, when Virginia is out here saying that all these loving things about this man, that she's in love, she's willing to do everything, she's willing to pay down his student loans. Like, where is this little disconnect coming from? He's obviously attracted to her. So I was just so confused by this. Just to be clear, I agree with Virginia saying no at the altar, but I'm just confused at how it all came down. And the fact that she's still going around saying that she's protecting this man is a bit weird to me. The most disappointing thing of all is that she actually still reached out to him after the show. Girl, why are you reaching out to this man after the show? You don't need to. You obviously don't have the same values. There was not a good enough foundation in this relationship to even date. So why are we reaching out to this man when you are accusing him for possibly pocketing a check that was supposed to be a gift for both of you? Why are we still wanting to contact this man? Let it go. Leave it alone. But I do believe that the editing definitely made this so convoluted, so chaotic, and it's just so confusing. However, Virginia girl, you were being fake, putting on that little voice, that submissive little tiny little voice, and saying all these loving things about the man that you know yourself, that you are confirming, that you think is a dusty mega. Like, make it make sense. All in all, I'm glad that she said no, and was really disappointed that they didn't really dig deeper into the situation. Like, I understand that Devin was just like, we can move on from here, but it should have still continued. I still think that it was wrong for them to just simply move from that and not even question him, not even ask him further questions. Like, the man couldn't explain himself. So I'm hoping that down the line, there will be some more answers. There will be interviews out of this, and he can actually explain himself. Because Devin, you're proving her right now. You pocketed a check. We don't know if that check was given back. We need answers. Did she pay for everything? And why did she pay for everything? Why did you let her give you an elaborate, expensive extravaganza of a birthday party, and you didn't even help her carry the gifts upstairs for you? I'm confused. I need answers. Simple as that. Now let's move on from one toxic relationship to another. Let's just talk about Ben and Sara. Boy, was this a mess. Honestly, I don't like this couple, but we have to talk about it anyways. Guys, Ben was clearly on this show for clout. We can clearly see this because, to me, he was out here cosplaying the Christian nice guy, the all accepting of others, of everybody. And while he didn't even know anything about his church's stance on controversial topics. Brother, get a Bible. Go to church. Because in the pods, it was like, I go to church every Sunday and I would like my wife to be there with me. To all of a sudden, oh, I don't go every Sunday. And I don't know and I forgot. I must have not been there on that day when that topic about gay marriages was brought up. Like, really? This man is not serious. I cannot believe that this man came on this show and was out here saying that he goes to church. Faith is so huge for him. He goes to church every Sunday and couldn't even defend his stance on his own faith. Make it make sense. Something that he's so passionate about. He couldn't even defend it. This guy was so fake, so performative to me. He was not serious about one thing. And to my disappointment, he actually got away with it because people pleaser Sara gave him a platform to do so. We have to talk about his acknowledgement of, I acknowledge that I have privilege. This was just so performative to me because the fact that he reached out to Jimmy for tips on how to look good at the reunion, and then he called or sent a message to Sara saying that we need to practice our responses for the reunion. My word, my brain was just, I could not keep up with the fakeness of this cast. I mean, this guy obviously is out here for clout. He obviously is not serious. And the fact that she dated him after this whole debacle of saying no at the altar, of, taking a stance. We don't share the same values. We don't share the same views. And I can't be with a man who is not willing to progress in these areas. And then to him asking her, oh, so that can we date after the show? And she was like, we will see. And it was like, get me out of here. We took that. The audience took that as a hell no. I don't know what type of party you think this is, but we will not be dating each other after the show. That's how I interpreted that. Come to find out, homegirl was out here dating this man after the show, to the point where he is the one who ghosted her. Make it make sense. Girl, he was out here humiliating you after that whole we will see moment at the altar. And with this whole shenanigan, just this whole performance of like, we don't share the same values. He doesn't. I'm sorry, but this is just so funny to me. Now, I did kind of like think this whole stance on like gay marriage and whatever, the thing that she was pushing so hard on the show was a bit performative to begin with. But I was like, oh, wow, impressed that she stood on business, like at the altar, like, yes, girl, that is definitely what we mean by standing on business. However, go and date this man after the show. Girl, you're not serious either. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. I was so disappointed. And to be honest, there's nothing else to be said about this couple because it was just fake. And the first red flag to me was already the fact that he was like, oh, I don't get involved with these injustices. You have to have such privilege because even for me, who lives all the way in Norway, I was hurt. But maybe it's because I could relate to this as well. But it pained me to see what is happening in the US. It pains me because I grew up partly in the US anyways. So it is just like so painful to see how people are suffering and people that look like me. Now, granted, of course, the people that are suffering do not look like Ben, but you live in that society and you calling yourself a Christian, you know the value of human life. And for you to be out here and be like, I don't get involved, must be nice. It must be nice. Or to have that knowledge that it could never be me. It could never happen to anybody that looks like me. It must be nice. That was already the first red flag. The second red flag, major red flag, was the fact that he was out here doing God knows what in the streets. And there was already a lot of TikTok videos against this man. And you still chose to be with him, girl. I understand this whole thing of like, I stood by my man. I wanted to support him and I wanted to like give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what she said at the reunion anyways. That was her spiel. But seriously, no investigation. You didn't even take a second look. But the fact that you actually doubled back and went back to this guy, it means to me that you do not know what you really want. I'm sorry, Sarah, but it really looks like you don't live life for yourself. You don't understand or don't know who Sarah really is. You are living for the trend. You are living for other people and not for yourself. Now, moving away from that heavy topic, there are rumors that Sarah and Joey are dating. I believe it because I don't know if you guys caught it, but the first time that she actually met Joey, the first time they had that whole cast meetup in Honduras, she was all googly eyed, looking at him with the whole heart emojis. And she was just like, he cute. And she commented about his hair. I don't know if you guys remember that, but she was feeling him. So that does not surprise me. And I definitely believe that these two are dating. And I believe that they will be soft launching their relationship at any moment now. So we'll be watching. Now, guys, we have to talk about the disappointment that was Joey, because trust me, I was highly disappointed by him. I think that he played this whole process, he wasted that girl's time, and to me, I think that he is the biggest villain of the season. It has to be said. I'm thinking that this guy is a bigger villain than Dave, because Dave at least was not out here playing in Lauren's face like this guy was. Now, the excuse that he gave for saying no at the altar, blaming Monica's sister because he values family so much, bro, that is a lie, and you know it. I know it. God knows it. Everybody knows it. What about before that? Before Monica's sister got involved, were you touching her? Were you cuddling up to her? Were there kisses? Were you really doing that, Joey? Was there an attraction? He was just simply not attracted to Monica. Point blank, period. And the fact that he is using Monica's sister as a get out of jail free card is so wrong on all levels to me. Monica's sister was right. We all owe Monica's sister an apology, because the way Joey was acting at the reunion, she was right. Simply put, she was right. She saw it, she called it, and we fell for it. Simple as that. Joey was out here wasting Monica's time. He was not attracted to her. And the proof that we have is the fact that he was out here DMing Madison during the show. That is so wrong. Monica was truly out here loving on this man. She was fighting for this relationship, while this man was out here playing the biggest goofball, leading her on while being attracted to other people. And when questioned about the DM, he was out here slithering, trying to get himself out of it. He was sinking. He was drowning. He couldn't even come up with a good enough explanation. And he was caught in a lie. He was out here trying to gaslight her. That man, to me, is the true villain of the season. I said what I said. I felt so bad for Monica, because it must have been so painful for her watching this back, because clearly there were so many signs showing that he was just not into her. The fact that she was almost out here begging this man to touch her, to love on her, it must be, of course, very hurtful for her. And I feel bad for her. But disappointing thing about all of this is the fact that she actually went back to him after the show. The fact that they were intimate, I don't care how many times, but the fact that she was still out here going back to this man, trying to get in with his family. Monica, you saw what we saw. He did not like you. He disrespected you by going out there while you guys are trying to make it work, and he was out there trying to get it in with someone else. That was so disrespectful. And I hope that he has learned from this. And I feel like he did not get enough backlash for this. And I feel like he got away with this. And that is the sad thing. I'm hoping that this does not affect Monica in a negative way, because this woman is beautiful. She deserves way more than Joey. She deserves happiness and love. And I love the way how she said it, that, you know what, I just want to finish this and we can just be like two individuals in the universe. That was so powerful to me. That speaks volumes. That says to me that she's over it. She doesn't need closure of any sort. This man is not even worth her time. And I'm glad that she came to that conclusion. If she needed to go back to him to realize that, then so be it. I'm just glad that she realized it sooner rather than later. It is a sad situation, And I really feel for Monica, but he's such a horrible human being for treating her that way. Okay, guys, there is just a lot to unpack from this. From Devin's silent night performance at the reunion to Miss Sarah's indecisive people-pleasing skills. Guys, there is just so much to talk about. Do you think that some of these couples were just simply just victims of bad editing, or were their reactions real? And who surprised you guys the most during the reunion? I would love to hear more from you guys. So please don't forget to drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I will definitely be seeing you guys on the next one.